Have you ever been victimized by New Age spirituality?
We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist.
Yes.
Snake oil salesman.
There are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted. They're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairanoyance,
a podcast of spiritual interference. On my mama. You got that song.
Oh, my mama.
I look fine. I look good.
Such a good affirmation.
It is. I mean, that whole song.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good. I think that you nailed it on the head that affirmations can be silly and that you can do it in the mirror. And like, I think too, the more you do affirmations in the mirror and it's silly and it's fun because there's not as much resistance. So then you're able to like get into it. So where's that, baby? That's how we make the magic. Speaking of magic, February be popping, son.
Hell yeah. We were just referring to like a random post on our Instagram account. Go follow us on Instagram if you're not already. But we posted like a funny thing about some affirmations and shit when we posted today's episode.
Not we, you run this.
Well, whatever.
You run. I go in and like random things, like occasionally respond to a message like, oh, thanks. Thanks so much.
I love it.
But it's all you.
I love it. So there was like somebody made a funny meme of like the On My Mama song by Victoria Monet, right? And so funny. It was just like it made us realize you can have fun with your affirmations. Like people take spirituality so seriously. And I think when you're like affirmations are like weighty and big and whatever, it can like you can psych yourself out. But if you're having fun with it, like, oh my mama, what were the I look fly, I look good. Like, I love it. Like, it's just funny shit. Funny shit. We kind of like go back to our niche manifestations episode if you haven't heard that, because we kind of talked about it a little bit in there too. Just the nature of levity in this. I think it really helps. Anyway, February astrology. We're going to blow through this. It's a short month, so short forecast.
I know, but leap year is here. And I always have a little bit of a bone to pick with leap year because it personally affects me as my birthday's March 1st.
Oh,
so
what do you do?
Well,
I've always wondered this.
I don't do anything.
Yeah, you just have to sit there.
I just have to wait. But it also did me a solid because I'm turning 39 so Friday this year, I'll be 39. And then my 40th is going to be on a Saturday. So leap year finally did your girl a solid. But for years, it would knock a good birthday like to a Tuesday. It's like nobody's throwing down with Mars Tuesday. Come on.
That is so interesting. I've never thought about the March 1st. I know I read for somebody once who was born on the 29th. Actually, and it wasn't even just them. It was like their child was born on the 29th too, February 29th. I forget though, like when do you celebrate? Do they celebrate on the 28th or March 1st? I can't remember what the answer to that is. If any of our listeners were born on February 29th, write in.
I mean, literally my birthday's a sentence. Like, you should March 1st, son. It's like, you're right. But we're not in March. We are we're in February and it's Aquarius season. And we got It appears, though it's a short month, it's a mighty month.
It is a mighty month. Truthfully, actually, there's so much going on that boiling down like some sub themes for this month and figuring out what to focus on was pretty difficult, which is why I think we've got like a nice month theme to more so focus on, like encapsulating the month's energy. You know?
I like it. I think that's easier for the people to work with, especially if you're not familiar with astrology and they're like square, trine, 299, you know, they can be confusing. So working with the month's energy, I believe your brilliant brain may have hit another gold mine there, sir. Let's get into it.
I know. I love this.
To it. We always start off with the moons, the lunations. Well, now, every time I say lunatic, I think of you because it makes so much sense, but I did not know that lunatic was derived from Luna, aka the moon. Makes sense.
Totally. And especially because there was a lot of correlation to like women and the menstrual cycle and how they apparently quote unquote went crazy when they were PMSing. So that's how like lunatic and full moon and menstrual cycles really kind of all got really grossly intertwined there. And it's like fucking dudes, man,
Oh,
patriarch, like just
oh, I
hating
know.
on women.
You know it, dude. I forget what comedian, but they're the ones who came up with like
Mm.
the idea of tampons. It was like, yeah, just stuff
Like
something
what the
right up
frick?
there.
Ugh. Just let a woman bleed. No, I'm just joking because that would also suck. So like you'd be like constantly buying new clothes. That would
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah, there it's a party. But anyway,
Yeah,
let's get
I don't.
into
Yeah.
illumination.
Well, before the lunations, I think we should like announce the theme of the month, right?
Oh,
And like
true.
discuss this,
Do that.
So the theme of the month is
Da, 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 da.
playing the infinite game, which I think is really interesting because there's a lot going on this month. We'll kind of explain how these different sub themes play into this larger theme. But really, like I was more so focused on this idea of repair because there's a lot of healing that could be had. There's potential conflicts that could happen this month, meaning it's important to approach this month with the like,
Mindfully.
um, yeah, mindfully and with that intent of de-escalation and let me like calm things down and repair and heal, um, being aware of wounding and conflict, but not to like feed that fire.
Hmm.
So with this idea of repair, I love the Gottman Institute. It's like
Yes.
a research institute that does like incredible research
On
about
relationships.
relationships. Yeah, which everything's relationship, it is about people, but like it's you can
It's quite flawless though. I have a lot of clients who like it's saved a ton of relationships, a ton of marriages. It's helped people become better co-parents. I mean, it's the
amazing.
real deal, Holyfield. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not some BS. I mean, the time, the effort, the way the studies are conducted, it's amazing. So if you are experiencing marital trouble, find a Gottman therapist.
And even if
Yeah.
you're not, like, go check out the Gottman Institute online. They've got tons of published resources
Mhm.
there for you to check out. Like, even if you're not married or even in a relationship, there's so much you can learn about the nature of relationship, the importance of it through the Gottman Institute. Like, it's like some really incredible stuff, truly. This idea of repair caught my eye for the month of February. And I like their version of it because we think of repair like I'm going to get my car fixed, it's broken, right? But in relational terms, it says repair is less about fixing what is broken and more about getting back on track. So looking at repair, like reframing it in a different way,
Mm.
I think it's really cool, right?
Those people who check in with themselves, with their partners, like once that's what I tell people to do. Because then you're gonna nip something in the butt. Once resentment starts to grow, it's like Tetris. It drops
Mhm.
little blocks in your tummy. And boy,
Yeah.
I mean, resentment is so hard to clear.
Uh-huh. Resentment's like I think root cause of so many problems, to be
Owner killer.
honest.
Yeah.
Damn. And with like, February having a lot of Aquarius energy, which you'll hear, Aquarius is the future forward sign, right? There's so much futuristic energy at play with Aquarius. And I thought that this was really profound that in Gottman's research, it says the consistent failure of repair attempts is a sign of an unhappy future. So we're not trying to live in an unhappy future, meaning we
No.
must learn repair tactics and techniques to
Mhm.
ensure a happy future for ourselves, like quite literally. So I think like repair is needed in February, just in general. But then it kind of like took me to this other very interesting thing called
Mhm.
the infinite game. And this is not Gottman specific. It is
Oh, I thought you came up with this.
oh
I was
no,
just
no,
like,
no,
like a play on words.
no. There's this
Sounds like
book.
Hunger Games.
No, 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 no.
Hunger Games of emotion.
I know it's kind of like that. No, there's right, yeah. Um, uh, there's a book called Finite and Infinite Games, and it's by a therapist named James Carse.
Hmm.
And you can like go look at this. I'll link them in the show notes.
Yeah.
And it's basically like this idea of finite and infinite games is a vision of life as play and possibility. And the
Mm.
idea is that all humans at all times are playing games, always. But there are differences. So there's finite games and infinite games. Finite games are games that are played to be won. They have rules that are predetermined. Players are penalized if rules are broken, and the game has
Ooh.
to come to an end at some point, right? Infinite games, there's no end, you know? It's not about winning. It's the point of an infinite game is about ensuring the continuation of play. And rules can change because of that. Like you don't want the game to end with infinite games, right? So rules
Like you
change,
don't want the
boundaries
game to end
change.
with your relation. I mean, like if you care about,
Exactly.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and which is just the understanding also because part of this infinite game is like it says participants may change. So even though a relationship may come to an end, the game goes, you know, like it still
Yeah, because you're
continues. And
not gonna not have a relation, even if you're,
yeah,
like you're gonna have friendships, you're gonna have complexities. So many people
hmm
are back to swearing off like I'm never dating again. I'm never it's like, oh, we're here again. Like just
hmm
waves of bullshit.
that's you putting your game on pause, and it's like, well, that then you're turning,
I
and you
love
know,
that.
it's true though. Like
You
I
got me
know,
back. You just taking a water break. Like,
but it's like that's not help, that's not repair, right? Like you're by stopping playing basically, which is as again like this theme is it's a vision for life as play
mhm.
and the importance of playing with life, right? Like there's no time limit to this, right? Boundaries are fluid, rules are evolving. In infinite games, rules are created collaboratively. Like we show up as individuals to the game, we play and participate as individuals, but it's in order to ensure an infinite game, like it must be a collaborative kind of teamwork effort. And
Mhm.
Aquarius has to do with groups, teamwork, collaboration, so much. So I think that this like just makes sense. It's also funny because Aquarius is a very complex, complicated, like paradoxical sign, right?
It
And so
really
that's a
are.
weird energy. Like it's super
Like an
bizarre.
RBF with the kindest. I'm thinking about my friend Liz, who's got like, you look at her, you're like, damn, that girl is mean mugging, and she's really pretty and cute. And then you get to know her, and you're like, God, you sweet
Mhm.
little lady.
It's like I think such a interesting energy, but people don't know how to approach it because it's different. It's just different than what's normal, quote unquote. And
What do you think's the
it's
most normal sign? Just out of curiosity. I know I'm going rogue here, but like,
Capricorn.
really?
Well, just in the sense that Capricorn kind of rules tradition. Again, it's not to say that all Capricorns are just normal, boring people or whatever. That's just the pure essence of Capricorn energy. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
cool.
Nobody is just purely Capricorn. Everybody has all the
Yeah.
signs in them. But yeah, Capricorn, I would say, is probably the most quote unquote normal because it rules status quo. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Aquarius comes after that and is like, let's break the rules. Let's change the status quo,
Don't
right?
like this.
So
And
yeah,
Pisces is like,
yeah,
we're gonna hug everybody.
yeah. No, it's so true. And we're moving into Pisces, so don't worry, we're gonna get there. But Aquarius all month, even once Pisces season starts, it's like Aquarius is still very, very, very active. I think March is gonna be way more of the Pisces kind of time frame.
Okay.
Um, so with Aquarius being like weird and complex and just confusing to figure
Mhm.
out, it's the same with infinite game, like the idea of an infinite game, because in order for a game to be infinite, it requires creative approaches consistently, right? And creativity is
Oh,
not a
you just said it,
simple
that's the bane. Consistency is the bane of just about everybody's existence. So
mm-hmm,
that's where,
mm-hmm.
so we're going to take this one step at a time. That's what I'm hearing in order for success. One
Yeah.
step at a time.
Yeah. And again, it kind of goes off of like what January's theme was with like tradition is the corpse of wisdom. Like this is about like, yeah, it can be one step at a time, but it's about like how do we make these steps different? You know, like creativity is important for infinite games. Aquarians are wildly creative, so out of the box. But so creativity itself is not simple or linear, right? And
Mhm.
in Gottman terms, Gottman Institute describes the idea of repair as any statement or action, silly or otherwise, that prevents negativity from escalating out of control. I love that because it says silly or otherwise. And that is so Aquarian too. Like Aquarius is bizarre and weird and silly, but it's also those silly ideas that Aquarius comes up with that is the genius thing. It's the sustainability with Aquarius too. Like that longevity factor that Aquarius can bring into the
Hmm.
picture. What is sustainable is weird and silly. So it doesn't make sense all the time. Like to have an infinite game, to heal, to repair this month, don't go with those tried and true traditional like tactics. Get fucking silly. Play around with this shit. Play a game. Treat life as a
Yeah,
game. And I think healing comes through that, truthfully. It's really interesting.
it is.
I know, right? Like I just love this theme so much. And so it plays really nicely into everything. So let's move into the lunations, shall we? Oh shit, Megan. Oh shit, Megan. In case there is a weird jump there, we had like a serious technical issue. Uh, so we've just like restarted the podcast. Hopefully I can just delete this and it'll
We'll be back.
flow smoothly. But anyway, and yeah, and now we're kind of like running out of time. So apologies if this is a little rushed, but we got to get through some shit here. So where are we at, Megan?
Short month, short podcast. We're at new moon in Aquarius happening February 9th, where change is imminent and necessary.
Yeah, but uncomfortable. Like it's just the nature of it.
No one's like, change, great, but change is the only like constant in your life. So lean in, motherfuckers.
Dude, straight up, right? But like this is like extra uncomfy because
I like extra uncomfy. Like it makes it sound nicer.
I know
Like it's just a little extra uncomfy, sweetie pie. It's just a little extra. Got her a little bit. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
it's basically this new moon is in a square with Uranus, and Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. So
Oh, there's some fighting.
yeah, it's like there's
Ooh.
definite conflict. So that's how I just feel like people are skeptical about this like new thing you need to do, the new approach, right? The creative energy at play of like changing the rules of the game, quote unquote, like so that we
Mm-hmm.
can be in a state of repair or healing or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's just going to be difficult. It's like the progressive energy, like we're leaving behind such traditional Capricornian energy, right? So the progressive energy, I think it's just going to be hard for people to grapple with in a weird way.
Yeah.
Um, but don't be stubborn. Lean into the change. Where Uranus and Aquarius are involved, they're seeking to liberate you ultimately. So I know it's hard, but
Drop those balls and chains, people, unless that's what you like, but like
mhm.
in your life, not in the bedroom.
So that's on February 9th, new moon in Aquarius.
Whoop, whoop.
It is a good new moon though. Ultimately, I like it. There's just you gotta be willing to pivot, man. Um, and then February 24th, full moon in Virgo. This is a weird one because the moon in Virgo is, I think, fine. But Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Mercury's in Pisces. We know what a Pisces Mercury is. That's like it's the poet. It rules poetry, which is like abstract thought.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
Right.
fucking make sense.
Write me a song. Good. Yeah. So the poem might not make sense.
Yeah. Like, and so it's mixed messages. It's kind of Mercury retrograde, but like it's more about the fog
Ew.
and the fuzziness, the mental
God, I hate
fog.
mixed messages. Just tell me what
Hmm.
you're doing. What's up?
Yeah. And
Makes
this
me
is where,
mad.
like, kind of what you said, like the more practical, like step by step approach being a theme this month. This is definitely what's important here. Like, because of this so much change that we do need to embrace in order to like repair or heal,
Hmm.
I think it's more digestible, right? And if it's the small stuff, like let's change radically, but little things at a time. You know what I mean?
I
So
like that though, like
yeah,
because that also then that's sustainable and that's how you enact long change because otherwise when you like try and overhaul your whole life on anything, it don't work like that, boo.
nah,
You
nah,
are
nah.
you're there to fail. So little steps for
Yeah,
radical change.
totally. And you think of it like, Virgo is like I always think of Virgo as that friend that I can call it to in the morning and they're gonna like know how to change my tire if I like get a flat tire on the side of the road. So they literally know how to like repair things. It like is the mechanic. So this idea of repair and Virgo full moon can actually be a very culminating feeling of like a moment of repair for you. But I think
Hmm.
you're most likely to experience that if you're in a problem solving mindset, but like focused on like, you know, little things at a time. Not don't feel the need to like overhaul the entire fucking
Doing
system
big
at
picture it right
once.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
big
no.
picture is hard to see.
Okay. And then I have like three themes here, theme 2, 3, and 4 that we're gonna walk through, but they're kind of all combined. So starting off, it's the just running through the planets that are changing signs really quick. Okay. There's 5 planetary sign changes. February 4th. I know there is. I mean, I know it's kind of a
It's
lot, but
like
like,
Pluto left Capricorn and went into Aquarius, and Aquarius was like, "We are gonna make sure that this is lasting times, so I'm gonna blast everything with Aquarius." I mean, like, what the fuck?
I know there's a lot of Aquarius energy for sure. And it's kind of weird. Like if we're gonna that blast is like a good word too for like what's coming here.
Yeah.
So just to run through the dates, February 4th, Mercury enters Aquarius. February 12th, Mars enters Aquarius. February 16th, Venus enters Aquarius. February 18th, the Sun enters Pisces, and thus Pisces season begins, Megan's season. Um, and February 22nd, Mercury enters Pisces. So Mercury is going to fly through Aquarius this month. And I think like the only thing I want to say about this, we'll continue with the other two themes here, and like these are going to compound. But the only thing I want to say related to like the idea of the infinite game, right, is that
Hmm.
like the infinite game and like healing or repair requires shifting of rules. And so when the planets change signs, it's kind of like the need to pivot, the need to shift. Like we're going to start seeing things from different perspectives.
I learn something new every day from or you or every week. Like so when it's there's a shift of rules when there is a sign change. And it doesn't mean you can be a heathen unless it's going into Scorpio and then
Yeah. Yeah.
then free game, son. But
Totally. Yeah. Okay.
I
Ooh.
love that. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
I know. I think so too. And it's like you're just going to see things from different perspectives, right? Like with Mercury, especially, it's going to hit Aquarius and then Pisces. Mercury will always have the function of communication, your thoughts, right? But signs then are like needs and strategies. So the the way that you think, the way you perceive, the way you communicate must change. And so it's about rolling with those necessary changes as these planets are shifting. Um, this rolls right into the next theme, which I just called Pluto getting triple triggered. Because
Ooh.
I don't know, because Pluto is at 0 degrees of Aquarius, right? It entered January 20th. So this is the first full month of Pluto in Aquarius. But at this point, Pluto is now in totally new ground that it has not been in for 250 years. Like it entered Aquarius last year, remember, like very briefly?
250 years.
Yeah. So none of us have experienced what we're about to experience in February. And Pluto, I mean, it's still at 0 degrees, but it's in the second half of the zero
Uh-huh.
degree, coming on to the 1 degree. And it didn't even get to half of 0 degrees when it was in Aquarius last year. So it's in new territory, and it will be in new territory when Mercury, then Mars, then Venus enter Aquarius. So, and it's at 0 degrees. So it's like, hi, I'm in Aquarius now. Boom, Pluto. 3 times, you know? So there's basically Pluto is subconscious and like
Uh-huh.
operates in the background. It's very slow rolling change over time. We don't really experience Pluto in our physical reality unless personal planets are touching Pluto. So it's sort of like Pluto gets awakened in this month. And it's like, we'll see some Pluto in Aquarius.
Yeah, like a bear who's been
Yeah.
hibernating. Oh,
Yeah.
scary.
It's like Godzilla or some shit. Like, seriously. So we'll see Pluto and Aquarius themes really start emerging. That's why, like, I didn't give a fuck about January 20th. I mean, it was symbolic and important and whatever, but I was like, there's not going to be some serious, like, societal change on January 20th, like all these, like,
Yeah,
TikTok astrologers were predicting. But I think February, we're going to start seeing some Pluto and
and
Aquarius
some
themes emerging.
traction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So on February
especially
5th,
politically. I mean, I'll be very
yeah,
curious to see how this pans out with
I
that.
know there's this whole year is going to start getting real political for sure. I mean, especially June onward. I mean, I know that that's kind of obvious because we'll be approaching
Yeah.
an election, but seriously, the astrology June onward is getting like political.
Ooh.
Um, yeah. So basically, when Mercury enters Aquarius on the 4th, right around the 4th and the 5th, expect some deep, probing conversations. That is like Mercury goes deep. It hits the jugular. It knows how to push buttons. It can like point out someone's vulnerabilities. It sees it. Be careful with that stuff. Like, don't push someone's buttons too much. You know, it's like taunting someone while you're playing a
Oh
game.
no,
You
no,
know?
no. Mm-mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to sit.
Terrible.
You need to duct tape your mouth
Yeah.
and glue your fingers
Mm-mm.
together. You
Yeah.
can't, don't do that.
Yeah. So careful there. And then Mars enters Aquarius on the 12th, and then on the 13th hits Pluto. So 12th and 13th, that is a confrontational energy. Mars is like the battle, the warrior, right? And Pluto honestly rules violence. So yeah, you gotta be careful here. And it's that's more like, when like somebody's getting real pissed off playing Monopoly or whatever, right? Like, and they're just like fucking mad and they throw the whole board game. It's like, calm the fuck down. Like, what the fuck, So like just, watch it. Like what is your
No
energy
two
and how are
hundred
you?
dollars in pass and go for you, buddy. Like,
No,
you just
no,
ruined
no,
my hotel empire.
to jail. You go to jail now. Literally though.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail, bitch. Like you want to be coming correct February 13th, February 12th and 13th, okay? And then
That's so
Venus,
unfortunate because Valentine's Day is the next day. So it's like, oh, do you love me? Do you love me? That you if you love me, you would propose. Then it's like, let me
I
get
know.
the fuck out.
I won't lie,
GTFO.
like it can be really, 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 really passionate though. Like on Valentine's Day astrology, I kind of like it. There can be like some seriously intense passion. So if you're like in a lovey-dovey relationship phase or something, honestly, do
Go to the bone
go
zone.
deep. Yeah, have fun. Like
That's
this is gonna be
right.
a
Go
really
deep.
go deep. No, it's true. It's just Pluto. It's just Pluto. Okay. Okay. Um, Venus enters Aquarius on the 16th, and then on the 17th hits Pluto exactly. That can show up as like intense or controlling situations in relationship. Pluto and Venus together is like weird secrets that a partner's keeping from you. I'd never really recommend like someone going on a first date when Pluto and Venus are doing much together because it's like you're gonna find out things about them much later on. I could tell you that from experience with my
Oh,
my
say no
ex.
mo.
Yeah,
Say
dude.
no mo.
It's like truly, truly, like you'll find out things way later down the line, where you're like, shouldn't I have been made aware of that? Like from the jump, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. More on that in a future episode. Megan and I are gonna really like blow your guys' minds on something.
It's so true.
Yeah. So but do be careful. Like you want to like be respectful if you're with anybody, partner, friend, I don't really care. But Pluto and Venus together is like again like
This just
someone that
seems
you
very
love.
volatile.
It
Like this
is.
whole week, maybe, lay
Which,
low.
yeah,
Lay low, everybody.
and that's why I'm saying, like, I think that this idea of infinite game, but as a means of repair, is what's important. Have fun. Like,
Hmm.
this is intense and heavy energy. So have fun with it. Approach things lightheartedly and with an intent of like repair and de-escalation. I think that's so important this month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this because it's waking Pluto up again, Pluto is subconscious and in the background. So we may not see things like on those exact days. I'm just telling you, like the energy is there those days. So you want to be careful with what you're doing because I do think February will be a month that we can look back on. It feels like very much like that's when this whole thing began, really. You know what I mean?
Where it's like, oh, like the seeds were planted, the ball was put in
Yeah.
motion. We're not
Yeah.
stopping it. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I know, but there can be serious transformation that also takes place this month, and that's also the point of like this infinite game and healing in general is like repair is to like transform what well and I guess they said not to fix what's broken but to get on the right track or to stay on the right track. So, but it requires transformation this month, right? And Pluto is a
Mhm.
planet of death and rebirth, transformation, and then all of this also just equates to the general idea of there's a big stellium in Aquarius. That's kind of like just my general next theme. And why I thought this was important is because I saw something that basically said the last time that there was like such a pile up in Aquarius, like, I mean, we've had actually like kind of a few pile ups, I feel like, in Aquarius, but there will be a lot of planets in Aquarius this month. And it's reminiscent of February 1962 when there were 8 placements in Aquarius, like nuts Aquarius energy, dude.
What?
Yeah, which correlated with the 60s counterculture movement. People thought that was like the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That's not true. We'll save that whole topic for another day. That's like a 200-year process to get into the age of Aquarius. We're in the midst of it, but we're not in the age of Aquarius. But
Yeah.
this is like a big one. Like Pluto being in Aquarius is big for the age of Aquarius, like kind of like putting those themes on the table a bit. But basically there's
Wow.
like remnants of that 60s counterculture movement that could totally be like weirdly reemerging now. Like boomers had like a huge affinity for things like science fiction. Isn't that weird too that I was saying I just like kind of got into science fiction books recently and I'm
Yes.
like literally obsessed. Like go figure. How weird is that? I just
Yeah.
like that's bizarre. I never used to read science fiction. I don't know what the hell. Anyway, technology developments, air travel, space exploration, telecommunications, computer science, math and science in general, humanitarian efforts, strikes, that idea of power to the people. And
Ooh.
art during this time tends to lean into the more of that like bizarre, eccentric, unusual space, right?
Lots of people are going to be on psychedelics doing some real
That's
fun,
like
weird
totally
things.
how I feel.
Let's
Yeah.
get it. Invite
Yeah.
me to your
No, totally.
lair.
I don't know if anybody actually, now that you say that too, like there's this artist I love. I mean, a musician, Jacob Collier. Do you know him?
Mhm.
He's
Mm-mm.
stupid fucking talented. Like, I mean, one of the
Cool.
most genius musicians ever. He can play like any instrument, and he's got a kind of weird voice, to be honest, but I've like really grown to enjoy it. But he's so talented musically, and then he keeps putting out these singles that honestly I never really liked. But he just put out one like a couple days ago, I feel like that I mean it was very recent, called Mi Corazon. And it's with
My love
I think
or my
with the
heart.
yeah, and it's with an artist named like Camilo, I believe, who I'm not familiar with, but apparently he's huge. And the video is a trip. It is a psychedelic fucking trip. And the verses and the chorus are so different. It is so innovative, though, as a song. So maybe go check that out. Maybe I'll link it below if I remember. But
My
check, I mean, like, that's the kind of
corazon.
art that's like, it is a literal, like, psychedelic trip
Yeah.
watching this video. And like, that is like the innovative art that I think could be like coming up to the plate here.
Invite me to your weird parties.
Yeah.
Invite us to your weird parties of
Hmm.
art making magic. That's funny because I actually wanted to I'm never like this, but I was like, you know what? I think I want to paint like all my friends' butts. This is what I the idea I had, and like them put them on a canvas, but like actually paint their butt cheeks and then have them sit down.
Love it. I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen that before on
Oh
something.
yeah.
I don't,
There's art is always recycled, but I had never thought. I
yeah.
was like, oh, that'd be fun. Fun girls' night, guys. It's time to
Hell yeah. Down, man. For sure.
let you know.
Just like plan with like a sugar butt scrub
Yeah,
beforehand,
yeah, all day. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
photo shoots coming up. Can't be having
Help, can't have the little pimples.
yeah.
Um, um, and also like why I think this is interesting is because like the 60s counterculture movement, right? And this is so Aquarian. Aquarian rules the group and the collective, but also
Free
its
love, group
individuality.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like it's individuality too. It champions like the underdog and the outcast, the people on the fringes that are different. So really like 60s counterculture and what we're kind of learning right now is all
Mhm.
about the individuals, like accepting who they are and coming to the table to create this new kind of society
Aries,
or
Aries
collective.
collaboration with the Aries North Node.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like all these things are combined. Yeah, like if
Yeah.
Aries North Node wasn't happening, I don't know that I would have gone with some of this theme, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that I just don't want to like that's layering in so much stuff, and we don't got the time for it.
Yeah.
But that's also part of this like idea of like the infinite game. Literally, if you look into this stuff, I know I keep saying it, but like it really is a theme. I just like want to tie through here, and people should check out the book and like just look into this concept. It's so interesting. But a game inherently is like somebody showing up on your own. You are responsible for yourself and how you play a game,
Hmm.
but there's teamwork involved, especially in the infinite game. And healing does require the like collaboration or the synergy of multiple people, right? Like,
I just keep hearing like Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. A wicked
interesting.
game you
Yeah.
play. Yeah. That could
Yeah.
be a theme
Okay.
song. Never felt this way. God, that's a sexy
Well,
song. It
it
sounds to me
is.
like a lot of sex is happening. I hope so.
I mean, like, I think that there's potential for people to like totally be,
Or I'm
yeah,
sorry, sweet,
experiencing
sweet
that.
love. Yeah, we're not, or whatever tickles your pickle. Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you like, however you
Yeah.
want to get into it.
Yeah. Just be respectful. Damn.
And
And with the point of
responsible.
healing. Like, that is the point here, right? And
Hmm.
so, case in point, with that is the final freaking theme here that I think is like huge is Chiron and the North Node meeting up in Aries. This is huge. They're going to be together. I mean, they've been together January and they will be together until May. But on February 19th,
Hmm.
specifically, Chiron and the North Node in Aries. Okay. North Node,
Uh-huh.
life purpose, essentially, at a very overarching, generalized
Mm.
sense. But it's like where there's soul evolution. Personally, but also collectively, we're growing into the high vibe of Aries, which we've already talked about this. That's the warrior stuff, right? Like bravery, courage. Chiron is the wounded healer. So it has a whole lot to do.
Oh,
I'm not going to get into the whole mythology right now. We just don't got the time. But
yeah.
it has a lot to do with wounds, very deep-seated wounds in you. Oh, we already discussed this. Go back to Xyla's episode. We talked about Chiron.
Yeah.
Go back to Xyla
That's because
Bones
I
episode.
called it Chiron.
Chiron. I loved that so much. I laughed so hard. I loved that. It was like the cutest thing. A Chiron. Um, anyway, so it relates to wounding, right? But also healing. And because it's with the North Node, that shows there's like a promise of healing. There's a need for
Mhm.
healing with Aries. It's kind of urgent. There's quick, like it's like a crisis for that. So collectively, we might be realizing many things like related to I don't know, I've said this like over and over, I feel like, but like coming out of like the COVID shock or pandemic shock and actually coming to terms with like what the last few years have been, because we've just been like thrust back into society and not able to process. And we don't have data. We don't really know the long-term ramifications of what all of this has been.
Did,
We might start
yeah.
realizing some of that stuff now and the need to heal, like
Yeah.
and just in individual sense, because Aries again is the individual. North Node does relate to collective stuff though. There's
Yeah.
like the personal responsibility we all have to take here of like what is kind of quote unquote broken in me, what needs repair, what can I do to heal. The cool thing about Chiron is it often has to do with alternative and spiritual forms of healing. So it's like more prone to go to an herbalist rather than like go get some Tylenol at CVS. It's gonna like
Mm.
try like oregano oil before it's gonna try some
Hmm.
Advil.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. Not to say like, ignore your prescriptions or something, but it's more about the incorporation of more holistic healing methods. And so I do think there will be like an uptick, ideally in business for like Reiki practitioners, acupuncturists,
Holla. Yeah.
sound healing, yeah, astrology. Like weirdly, I've actually just was telling you in the last couple of days, like I've seen a like odd
A
uptick
boost.
in
Yeah.
business out of nowhere. I mean, like, and I know what it was from, but like it's great. It's like I think that there's going to be
Yeah.
more of an investment in some of this stuff, and I think that that's honestly it's good for you to do that. So
Yeah.
there is a need for healing, both collectively and individually, but it really is up to the individuals to create that movement of healing, right? So that
Hmm.
repair can happen on a large scale. It is so microcosm, macrocosm in that sense.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And so those are kind of like the big themes this month. I think like I did write down just a couple like pieces of advice and homework, which would be A, identify what needs repair in your life, whether that's personal or, and I
And write
would,
it down. Guys, get it out of your head. Write it down because that's going to be how you like, it's like, oh, I need to do this. No, it's going to get lost in that dumpster fire that is your beautiful brain. Write it down and then look at it and then let's develop a plan to do something about it.
yes, yes. Okay. And then like that's it. The plan, write it down. Hell yeah.
Yes.
And especially, I mean, it's air sign for the vast majority of this month, that is communication and like writing things is going to be extra powerful.
Hmm.
And then my like after kind of like identifying it, writing it down, then I want you to explore, suggest if there's like a relational issue with you and someone else, right? But explore, suggest, and implement a totally new repair approach. Okay.
Hmm.
Easy. I
Yeah.
will link to this below as well, but there is something from the Gottman Institute again called the Gottman Repair Checklist. Really cool.
It
Very
was cool.
simple. It feels fucking dumb, I know. Like I remember this shit in like grade school, like some of that where it's like, I feel like this when you do this, like the I statements, rather than being like,
Hmm.
you're fucked up and making me feel bad. It's like taking the responsibility and like trying, like that is coming to things with a
When you do this, it hurts my feelings.
yeah,
And
it is that shit.
I would like to be talked to like this. And you
Yes,
will get a
dude.
better response if you do this.
Yeah.
Handshake.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
will literally link to this Gottman repair checklist, and an article that honestly kind of combines this idea of repair with the infinite game, which is like, I think just the freaking perfect inspiration for February here. But the Gottman repair checklist specifically is going to go through like these different scenarios. Not all of these are a fit for you. That's the thing. You need to figure out like
Yeah.
what lines fit for me, what lines don't.
And if you see
Um,
something and you're like, ooh, and you're triggered, that's you need to work on that. That's for you. Like
yeah,
yeah, so
totally.
your brain will be like, oh, I need to do this. And then you need to take a look at the things that are triggering. What are you avoiding?
Yeah.
Move
But there's
forward.
like there's beautiful shit in here, man. Like even when somebody needs to calm down, like if you need to calm down or something, right? One of the options here is please be gentler with me. Could you imagine if we said that to
Oh,
each other a little more often? Jesus Christ, how beautiful is that? Please be gentler with me. What?
that's so
There's really
sweet.
beautiful things in this. So
I'm
like go look at
so
this.
aggressive. And
I
I think that if
know.
I were to say that to someone, if I was like, please be gentler with me, if you didn't like want to like hold me a little like a little teapot after that, then, I might scold you, but something's wrong with you.
Yeah. So there's like six sections on this at least where it's like I feel statements, I need to calm down statements, sorry, apologies, people don't know how to do that shit. Stop action, like I might be wrong
Hmm.
here. Let's stop for a while. Let's take a break.
Take a
Um
breather.
yeah, get to yes, which I feel like is a little bit more about like compromise. Like one of them is literally let's compromise here. Let's find our common ground. I never
Yeah.
thought of things that way. And then I appreciate statements, which is also really beautiful. I know this isn't
Yeah.
your fault. Like, I see your point. I understand. I love you is one of them. I am thankful
I say
for
I do a
them.
lot of these where I'm like,
Yeah.
I can see your perspective, you know, like it's, and
Yeah.
let me
But
tell
I
you, it's
think
easy.
so it is. It is. And I think it's
It's
just more about the intent. Like, it's
easy.
great that, like, I do that shit too all the time. Like, I understand. I definitely, like, default to that now. I love you. Love that. I love to tell people what I appreciate about them. I do that all the
Yes.
fucking time because I don't think
You're
people hear
great
this
at
shit
it.
enough. I
Hmm.
love doing it. But, like, it takes a minute to get that ingrained in you and to know, like, what it can do. Like, I know the importance
Hmm.
of that because I see the repair that it can happen. So,
Yeah.
like, go through this list. There's tons of other ones on here that I really think are great. One of them, Jesus, like I love this too. Like under the sorry section, it says, "Let me start again in a softer way." What a great way to say, like, I'm sorry because I know, like, you're taking
Oh,
responsibility for the fact that you probably didn't approach something in the right way, right? Like,
yeah.
there's so much good shit here you can implement. And so
Remix.
do it. Like, literally,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that this is like a perfect toolkit. It doesn't need to be your only toolkit again, because I think you can go explore, suggest, and implement other repair
Yeah.
approaches. But this is one that we're just giving you, and it is so good. And we highly recommend the Gottman Institute for all sorts of things. But
Let's go
that's your month.
February.
Fuck yeah.
February. Woo! Let's
February.
make it magic. You
All
guys
right.
can do it. We got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get ready because like there's so much change that's about to happen. Next month we got eclipse, so eclipse
What?
season starting up.
Yeah. Not on my birthday.
No, March 25th.
Oh,
You're in the
okay.
clear.
I was
Yeah,
about to be like, no.
yeah. More on that later though. There's
I
gonna
reject that.
yeah. These
Please be
eclipses are
gentler
gonna
with
be
me,
yeah.
universe.
Please be gentler with me, astrology. So for real. I'm like, Chase Bank, please be gentler with me. Chase Bank, could you start that in a softer way? Like, Jesus Christ.
Thank you. I love you, Chase Bank.
I love it. I know. Thank you. I love it.
I
Chase
love you,
Bank, we're
Chase
getting off track. Stop action. Do not withdraw. I am dead. I am dead.
Bank.
Look at the levity we bring to this shit though. Truly, like you could go look up other astrologers who are talking about February and you might feel terrified, which actually I want to say that too. I had a client email me. I'm dead
Mhm.
serious and actually referenced a very great astrologer. And like I don't want to out this person. I don't even know if they listen to this podcast. I have no idea. But I don't, so I'm not gonna like say anything too specific. But
Mhm.
somebody literally wrote me saying that they were scared about like the upcoming astrology and like they literally said like
Oh, I hate that.
they were like worried about like the apocalyptic cyber attack or nuclear war and they're like I know that shit's gonna hit the fan. I just hoped we had more time. I'm like that
I
if an
know.
astrologer is like instilling that imminent fear in you, Jesus, like what a and this is actually a really good astrologer that I really really respect and like, but it's just like the how easy it is to be
Hey, knock it
susceptible.
off. How about that? Life is tough enough. Don't do that to people. My God. People are crazy. Guys, I want you to know that throughout history, the world has been ending every year, every day, forever. We're fine. You're fine. Everybody, we're fine. Okay. Just 1, 2, 3. Say it with me. We're
We're
fine.
good. We're good. We're totally
God.
fucking fine. And like, I mean, I love astrology for preparation, right? But like, that's not going to be my
That's
MO.
emotional terrorism.
I'm gonna put the vast majority of my focus in like Megan always says, what's the best that could happen,
What's the
right?
best that
Like,
could
I'm gonna
happen?
look at the high vibe of things way more than I'm gonna look at like the worst possible scenario. Like,
Apocalyptic?
it's good to think worst case scenario just to be aware you can feel prepared, but like shit like I don't that's not like I wouldn't don't let yourself spin out about that. So that's why I'm like really glad we're
Reckless.
taking this
That's
like light
reckless.
approach to February's astrology because I think people are going to need to keep these lighter repair oriented things in mind.
We don't need life's hard enough. We don't need to be doing this. Mm-mm.
Yeah
I'm gonna take that person's microphone.
I know. Okay, anyway, love you all. See you soon. Sorry this was a little chaotic and we will
But February
be
is
back.
chaotic.
I know, and we'll be back next week with a really cool interview, so looking forward to that.
Woo!
Woo, bye.